Hi, this is Dr. Kerry Johnson. As usual, I always try to give you talking points to make sure your 3-month phone calls are seamless, engaging, and most importantly, we set the frame for calling clients, prospects, et cetera, et cetera. So just a little reminder, our 3-month phone calls will increase your business by 30% in 30 days if you just do these 3 things. Number 1, catch up with your client and prospect, by the way. Number 2, update them on the things I'm about to give you on this market update. And number 3, use the 5-step bridge to engage them, get them to talk to you. Don't pitch, don't try to sell them. And lastly, at the very end, if you can't book an appointment, if you can't find any needs, always get 3, make sure we ask for referral. By the way, my new book will be out in January called The Referral Mindset, 7 Easy Steps to Explosive Growth. If you're my client, you get a free book, a pre-publication copy. If you're not my client, obviously you'll get a pretty good discount just for watching this video. Okay, so here it goes. Number 1, we're at an impasse right now with COVID stimulus bill. There's already been a bill in the third quarter of 2020, which provided what we call PPP, Payment Protection Program, to the businesses, and also the CARES Act to workers. Right now, Trump has offered $1.8 trillion to be able to get this thing going. Obviously, pretty important for his reelection bid. Nancy Pelosi is fairly stuck on the $2.2 trillion. The reason they're so far apart is that Trump really doesn't want to include anything that's not targeted to affect the workers. And Nancy Pelosi, without sounding too political, by the way, wants to put a lot more in the bill than just protection. Trump says that Pelosi wants to bail out blue states. They want to give health care to illegals. There's a lot of stuff happening in there besides just protecting people that have been affected by COVID. There are a lot of economists right now that think that no matter what happens, we'll be back to normal within 4 to 6 months. So the end of January and or the end of March. I really hope that's true. But there's a big debate currently about the stimulus bill. If there's a stimulus, many economists think that will be less bumpy or less volatile between now and January. If there is a stimulus, it'll smooth things out and make it work a little bit more. The reason that many conservatives don't want to put the bill together at $2.2 trillion, obviously, is to increase the debt. We're just giving a bigger debt for our kids to pay for when they're taxpayers. A lot of reasons why we want to keep it limited, but there's a big argument from both sides. Coincidentally, the St. Louis Federal Reserve Board President Jim Bullard believes that we really don't need a stimulus. He said that the GDP, gross domestic product, was supposed to be down by 12% for the year, no matter what you see on a daily, quarterly basis, 12% for the year. Right now it's expected to be only 3.5% down. After a shock like COVID, I'm personally surprised it's projected to be 3.5%. I would have thought it'd be more of 5 to 6%, because many other countries are actually down by between 10 and 20%. Interestingly, though, 50% of all the people out of work right now are what's called temporarily unemployed. What that means is 50% are temporarily furloughed, which means that they'll go back to work. 50% probably will have to get a new career, new job someplace, because those jobs will be permanently gone. That's different than the recession 2009, when the jobs just kind of disappeared until the economy revved up again, which took about 2 years, 18 months to 2 years to be able to get going. The best stimulus likely will be, according to Jim Bullard, St. Louis Federal Reserve President, PPP, or payments to companies rather than CARES Act. And one of the reasons for this is because in the CARES Act, payments were given out directly to workers at the tune of about $400 more than they were making in their jobs. What that provided was a disincentive to get a job instead of getting the CARES Act money. And you could see that too. Many businesses, in fact, my golf course, which is the Tuster Ranch golf course, manager and I were having a chat together. He said he can't get anybody to work there. He can't get ground crews, he can't get starters, he can't get people working behind the desk because either now or recently, people were making more money than he could pay them to sit at home from the government. To give you a little bit better edge on that, Regal Cinemas this week had just announced they were closing 500 theaters, which is really interesting because those jobs are likely not to come back at all. You can't be shut down for 6 months and have cash flow before you realize that you just can't make that tenable. And finally, Lyft and Uber are having a fight of their lives in California. California has a regulation called AB5, which has characterized Lyft and Uber workers as full-time employees. What Lyft and Uber are trying to do is fight that with a Proposition 22, which is trying to make them 1099 or at-will employees, meaning that they could come and go. They're paid based on the job they do. If that does not prevail, if Proposition 22, Lyft and Uber lose, it'll cost them $180 million. What the implication for you is, if you live someplace other than California, you'll see coming to a theater near you kind of thing, well, where states will start adopting that regulation likely. And California will probably see either Lyft and Uber becoming so expensive that nobody can afford to ride them, or they'll just leave California, one of the two. That's because that's typically what overwhelming regulations do. Okay, so now you have it. You have your talking points. Again, all we're really trying to do here is we're trying to tell clients what the market may do, what the market has done, what the economy may do, what the economy has done, and get them to start talking, tell you their worries, tell you their needs, and listen them into telling you 3 needs: recap, trial close, and book an appointment. But this will give you some talking points, some framework to make those 3-month phone calls a lot more cogent, a lot more informative, so that when your prospect client or anybody answers the telephone, they know that they're going to get a wonderful education.